I picked this Ratchet up at Jacktown. I hadn't run into PNC before, so that was an attraction. I like the size of it. I dig that selector switch knob there. Is that supposed to be a little paw? I like it. Got a part number there. I thought it'd be a fun one to clean up. I figured I'd try to pick the gunk out of these Phillips head screws to give me every chance for success. Not too bad. Alright, let's see how it goes. Alright, here goes. Oh, that was no problem at all. Let me try this one. Good. They were easy. Alright. So far so good. I think if I give this a whack, maybe I gotta whack it. I think I gotta whack it that way. Whew. Way to go, Baghdad. Alright. Things went flying, but they didn't go flying far. Yeah, okay, I got both springs and both paws good. Alright, let's take a closer look. Here it is disassembled. I just laid the paws back in there, so I'll know how they go when I reassemble later. They just slide right in there. And these are those little conical springs that I'm really glad I didn't lose. Decent amount of rust. The teeth look really good. I might have lucked out. This might not have that many miles on it. I'm going to use this cupped wire flinger in my Dremel just to get off the worst of the rust. And then I'm going to let the evaporust do the rest. Alright, into the soup. I scooped some magic juice out of the big container. And throw the little parts in that. Here's all the parts after soaking in evaporust, rinsed off with water, and then coated with WD-40. Now I've just wiped the WD-40 off. I don't know what's going on there. All the inside's nice and clean. That's where the evaporust really does a nice job. in these kind of areas here. Again, the teeth look like they're in pretty good shape. This has got some pitting. Kind of reluctant to sand on that too much because I'll change the size of it. Might affect how it works. Little screws came up pretty good. I think that was the inside. Maybe the outside. I probably won't do any more to these paws. Probably find the way they are. Even the springs came up pretty nice. Check them out. They look pretty good, huh? Now I have to decide how I want to finish this. And the factory grind's a little rough. I can certainly improve that. I'm reluctant to try to get this apart. I think I'm going to work around it. So that's before the 80 grit belt, and that's after the 80 grit belt. Now I use the coarse Dremel sanding drum on this corner here. I'm having some trouble steering clear of this adjuster and getting these parts here. I'm going to try something different with that. Check this rig out. So here's my normal Dremel, and this is a 90-degree attachment, and this is a little sanding head, and these are hook and loop discs. I'm hoping I can use this to work around that selector. I think that did what I wanted it to do. I was able to get down here and stay out of the way of this adjuster. Looks like it worked. Alright, here's the ratchet wrench with everything sanded with the coarse grit. Now it's just a matter of moving through the grits. I took everything down to 400. Except in here. I wanted to play with this thing a little bit, so I used every grit I had. I took that down to 2000. I used my heat shrink tube wire brush to get in around the markings. And my plastic abrasive wheels to clean up the square drive. I used the 80, the 120, and then the 220 on this part. I didn't want to remove a lot of metal and affect how it works. I think it shined it up okay. I went over it with my Red Label conditioning belts. They do a really good job blending in these inside curves. Okay, here's what the PNC Ratchet looked like when I brought it home from Jacktown. And here it is cleaned up. What do you think? Chuck and I polished it with flits. And I added some cold bluing just to jazz it up a little. PNC started out in 1914 as a blacksmith shop in Idaho owned by partners John Peterson and Charles Karlborg. By the late 1920s, they had moved to Portland, Oregon, and their hand-forged tools were in demand in the automotive and aviation industries. In 1941, they were acquired by Plom. In 1948, Plom was forced to change its name to Proto. Many tools like this Ratchet were labeled and sold under both brand names. In 1953, PNC registered the six-sided logo they had been using since the mid-1920s. Tools made after this included the Circle R registered trademark symbol. Mine doesn't have the Circle R, so maybe it was made before 1953. What do you say we give this Ratchet a test drive? This is a 1/2-inch bolt with a 3/4 hex nylock nut. Okay, let's try loosen it. Works good. I really like the simplicity and serviceability of this Ratchet design. I also prefer this handle design over the round knurled handle. This was a fun project. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Joe's shop sent me this little hand vise a while back. I cleaned it up and added leather draw pads. Thanks, Joe.